the mix. Sports mix. Yeah. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny. News and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in. A lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. Plus he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. You rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
Sir, yes, sir. Oh, Kenny checking in. Yo, March Madness time, yo. Basketball tournament about to jump off. I thought, what better way to kick off March Madness, right? Than somebody. I'm bringing up somebody that was a part of March Madness history, right? And I was around to witness some of that. You know what I'm saying? I got to see this dude. He could boogie. You know what I'm saying? Hoopers know he could boogie a little bit back in his day. Part of the 1997 Coppin team that upset. What was that? South Carolina, y'all upset? Yeah, I'm gonna get him up here, but none other than Mr. Daniel Singletary. What's happening, my brother?
Hey, I appreciate it. Much love, brother.
Man, thank you for joining me, man. So March Madness, I know you part of history. You got to participate in the March Madness, the NCAA Tournament. And you made some history along the way. Before we jump into that, let's talk about you. Tell me your story a little bit. How did you get to Coppin in the first place?
It's a pretty amazing story. I was at Ohio Valley College in Parkersburg, West Virginia, and playing there. I went there for 2 years. My sophomore year, it was an NAIA school. I led the nation in scoring down there. I was averaging 30 a game. And the coach, assistant coach Mike Snell, he was like, man, you need to be in a bigger platform. He was like, I got a friend. I'm gonna send some tapes to him. I'm gonna see what he says. So I was like, all right. I had, because I'm at Ohio Valley NAIA. I was like, all right, I had no problems. He was like, yo, I'm gonna call him first. So at that time, it was almost, I want to say April, because we got out of there. We got out of there in May, and I was playing baseball at the time. Because I played both baseball and basketball down there. He literally was like, yo, I sent the tapes. He said he gonna give you a call. Didn't know who he was talking about. So I left.
Right.
I ended up coming home back to Paterson, New Jersey. And then my brother, he was like, yo, his girlfriend at the time was down in B-Mall. He was like, hey, I'm going down to Baltimore. Yo, Coppin got a good baseball team. They just won it. I was like, oh yeah. And I was talking about, because I was like, man, basketball, I ain't gonna be able to do that. It was a Division I. But the baseball, I was like, I definitely can get on there.
Right.
So he took me down. I went and met Jason Booker. He was the head coach at the time. And he was like, I want to see what you can do. He saw my stats in Ohio Valley. I was All-American in baseball down there. And my sophomore year, I was an All-American in basketball down there. So I went out there, and when I was in B-More, he had practice out there. I went out there and caught some fly balls, hit some balls and stuff with the team. He was like, you need to come back. Just like that. He was like, yo, you need to come back.
Right.
So in the midst of that next month, he set me up and everything. The next time I went down, I met the famous Fame Mitchell.
Right.
I came down. He was like, I have an idea. He was like, because he was gonna have to spring up the money for me to come and play baseball. But he said if I can get you on a full scholarship for basketball, I can use that baseball, the money that I was gonna give you, and give it to somebody else that we can get down there. And I was like, all right, I had no problems because I was like, as long as I can get a full ride, I'm with it.
Yeah.
So he introduced me to Fame. So um Derek Brown was there, Fame Mitchell, and Nathaniel Blackwell
Hmm.
was there at the time. And at that time, when I was interviewing with Fang, he had his players down there. They was in summer school. It was Julian King, Turk Ramott, Reggie Welch, Antoine Brockington, Gerald Seaman was there, and it was another person. I forgot his name. I think he was like the manager.
Hmm.
Um, Jermaine, was it either Jermaine Lewis or it was Jermaine something. I forgot his name. And my bad, brother. I should have remembered your last name. But he was like, "You think you can ball, huh? You think you can ball at this level?" And I was like, "You know me, being from Jersey, I'm like, I can ball anywhere. That's how what I mean. That's how we was raised. Even though if I wasn't that good, I still wasn't gonna say no." And he was like, "Well, you go down there and play." Go down there. So he gave me some shorts. They had, I mean, Feli was crazy at that time too. So he had a whole storage of Feli. So he threw me some shorts, threw me some sneaks. He's like, "What you wear?" Threw me a shirt. I went down there and shot around with the team. This is the first time I met Turk, man. And oh man, you already know he was a monster anyway back then.
Sure, for
And
sure.
yeah, so um, I did pretty good for my first time playing with Turk and all them. They was trying to rough me up, but I like that style of play anyway. I play hard all the time, so it didn't even matter. So by that time, I came back upstairs, and by that time, him and Jason Booker already, discussed some things. So when he was looking at me play, he was like, "All right, um, if you can make the squad, I'll give you a scholarship."
Mm.
Just that simple. It wasn't he was like, "But you got to make the squad."
Right.
So I was like, "All right, no problem." Um, I went back to what Coach Book. So Coach Book was like, "So that mean that the first semester he was gonna have to, take, do the do the money and grants and all that or what he had."
Hmm.
So my first semester there, I get and this is about to be the crazy. Remember when I say it was a crazy incident?
Yeah.
So I get there, go through admissions, call my mom, and was like, "Mom, I'm in." I still remember this day. She goes, "Well, a coach Charlie Huggins called Charlie Huggins from the Cincinnati Bearcats."
Mm.
So she was like, "Yeah, Coach Charlie Huggins called saying that they was trying to get in contact with you. They couldn't, they finally got got all the information they called." And I was just like, "I'm here now, ma." She was like, "Hey, I, I think you should stay. I mean, you already down there." And
Right.
I was
Right.
like, "Yep." And so, but that was the year when, if you remember, they had Nick Van Axel, Kenyon Martin, Blunt. They had Gordon. They had a squad there. That Cincinnati Bearcat team. But I think going to Coppin was a blessing because I think going to Cincinnati now, knowing looking back, I wouldn't have did the things I did what I did at Coppin. You know what I mean? Being
Right.
a two sport athlete. And of course that's what I wanted to do anyway. If they had a football team, I would have tried to play football as well. So, but um, just going to Coppin and they allowed me to do that was the blessing itself that I'm glad that the route that I took was this route that I took.
Yeah.
You know,
One other thing I forgot to mention in your intro, because you are now a Coppin Hall of Famer. So I can't leave that out. Can't leave that out. You know, you gotta wear that proud. You know, Hall of Famer. Damn.
yes, brother.
So I was at the game, the homecoming game. I saw you out on the court. You know, when you guys came out like at halftime of the game, and I was like,
Yes.
man, you know, it was kind of a surreal moment for me, you know, because I was around at that time. You know, I was a student at that time as well, and I attended
Right.
a lot of those games, man. And to see you, you know, see you up there, and AP Adrian Price, the baseball guy who I'm friends with on Facebook. You know, y'all guys like y'all were around when I was around, and you know, to see you guys get immortalized. You know, you copy history forever now. And congratulations, man, on your Hall of
I,
Fame induction at Coppin State.
thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate it because that was my first time back since I think what 2012.
Different,
20
look a little different up there,
what?
though.
Oh man, people don't realize I was in my mind saying if we'd have had that facility with our team that we had,
Oh yeah,
that facility,
oh yeah, yeah,
sky would have been the limit. Like the how can I say it? What we had, we dealt with the adversity of what we had and turned it into a success.
mhm,
And it seems like nowadays the kids they take that for granted.
yeah, mhm,
Um, I mean, when I got there, I saw they had a nutritionist. I mean, you know, we was eating any and everything. Like they had, like at this time, like now, the kids have things for them to be successful in the utmost of just sincerity. Like each and every one of them can be the LeBron James. You
yeah,
know what I mean? With the a nutritionist, stay work like they have people that they pay now just for you to become the best you
yeah, yeah,
compared to when we was there. Don't get me wrong, we had it, but they was also teachers. They wasn't like, you know what I mean, where they really knew the ins and out of what, you know what I mean, your body needed and how to, you know, go about it. I went in the back. They even have the trainer is also the trainers for the professional football teams of the Baltimore Orioles and the Baltimore Ravens.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, like, I can only imagine if I would have had that facility and the resources that they had at that time. Man, that would have been it'd have been tremendous. Like I think you would have saw a whole different Coppin team. Yeah,
yeah,
with all that with that facility and the mindsets that we had that never give up, that always grinding, like that team would have we probably, you know what I mean, even though, you know, a lot of people, I mean, we did well for what we had, we
mhm,
probably even did that much, even, you know what I mean, that much better, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, y'all that you know, like being around. Well, I'm a Baltimore guy, so you know, Coppin to me kind of came on the scene like in the late '80s when Larry
Right.
Stewart and them guys was there, and they had a big win down at Maryland, and I think it was
I
89,
heard.
89 or 90. So that was really big for the area, and it kind of put Coppin on the map. Like, okay, you know, okay, the boys up North Avenue getting it, and then you know Larry Stewart was the guy. You know, he kind of was the star of the team, but they had
Exactly.
but they had guys that could go. You know, the whole roster, like all them guys could ball, man, and you know, as a Baltimore guy, so you know, it was a thing with Baltimore guys and Fang, like, man, he don't mess with the Baltimore guys. You know what I'm saying? he, he get these guys from Jersey and Philly, man. He ain't mess with the Baltimore guys. But I mean, you know, as a coach, that's your prerogative. You build a team to suit your style, you know, and what your comfort
Right.
level. So I can't knock him because he was successful. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was successful doing it the way he did it. But you
But
know, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but on the flip side of that,
Mm-hmm.
if he would have got some of them Baltimore monsters
Mm-hmm.
from how successful he probably that team probably would have been in a top 25 team
Mm.
if he would have got some of them. Because I didn't know, of course, basketball wasn't my sport.
Right.
Baseball was.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know nothing about Baltimore until I came to Baltimore. And shout out to Baltimore because hey, we got a lot when I first got down there. That was the first one I saw a hat. what they doing? what they doing today as these lifts? Yo, be more had it in the half and halves. Like yo, be yes,
Yeah, you got baptized.
yo, yes. I don't care anybody say the first lifts, the first Ubers was the hacks from B-More, and they was doing it from $5 to $20. It wasn't like these prices now. They was like, yo, you need a hack, you need a hack. I was like, what?
Get you there. We get you there.
Exactly. Like, so I appreciate, like, yo, B-More, man. I definitely appreciated B-More, man. It really B-More messed with Jersey. That I don't care anybody, people, what I mean, we used to talk about that. They was like, yo, from why I said, listen, Be More with the music style was a Jersey, New York type of atmosphere compared to DC with the go-go.
Right.
So Be More was more or less of a like, you know what I mean? We meshed very well together.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely appreciated when I came down to Be More, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man, with my Jersey plates. If you remember on North Ave, they had that checkers right there.
Yeah. Right up the street.
I did get shot at. Going back to the college. She like,
Wow.
it was because like it was crazy because I didn't know, like it was crazy because be more it's it's a combination of things. It's a combination of New York because you be going to certain areas, and that's just like any hood. But
Mm-hmm.
if you know Be More, because it's famous, especially The Wire. You know what I mean? And they did, and I love how they did The Wire because they didn't have to have a makeup.
Right.
Be More is that. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? If you watch The Wire and then you go down there, that was Be More. It wasn't like a makeup where they had to go. Everybody out there was being them. Like, so it was like, yo, this is for real. Like, and that was after the fact. But me being down there in the 90s when I was down there, I was looking like, yo, this okay. I was like, man, hold up. Like, oh man. Like I went into Checkers, hooked around, made that left out of on North Ave and going past that little spot, and I heard just pop, pop, pop. And I'm sitting up here like, hmm. Nah, like you know what I mean? Like, nah, I can't. That can't be for me. Like you know what I mean? And me, I was already, you know what I mean? I already used to drive fast anyway, so it was like pop, pop, pop. And I was like, oh no, I'm not even thinking about it. It was like, nah. I was like, oh no, come on, man. Like yo, they didn't like those Jersey plates down there. I ain't gonna, or plates out of town being in that area, in certain areas. And let's put it that way, in them certain areas, because you have plates from all around. But in certain areas, they like, listen, this is mine's, B. Like, yo,
90s was a little different. You know, 90s.
yeah. But it was, hey, them 90s was I loved it because the music, something that I didn't hear compared the house to the club, the Be More club it was similar, but I ain't gonna lie, I definitely enjoyed that Be More that Be More music when we was in the dorms. Because everybody
That's what's up. That's what's up. So so
Yeah,
so the team is coming together. You know, you get to be you get there. You're coming from a NAIA school. You know, you
right,
kind of coming there more to play baseball in the beginning,
right,
and then
right.
you happen to you know you work it out where you get on the basketball team. So what's those first practices like? You know, so you like you say you kind of an unknown. You know,
Right.
you coming
So
into
it was,
the situation. So what's them first practices like?
so you knew I had to sit out, going coming basketball was a revenue sport back
Hmm.
then. So you had to immediately sit out that first year.
Okay,
So when I got there, I was all baseball.
right.
All baseball. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I tried out, I was like, trying out for the basketball team. I made the team. Um, but I was strictly baseball that first year, which was nominated as a Black College All American.
Hmm.
And I did my thing. But in practice, um, I was going against Brockington a lot. Like, Antoine Brockington. And he was a go-getter. He can go.
And the motor.
Um, yes, buckets. So in my going there, I was like, I'm looking, he's shooting it. Turk is a monster. Reg is a like I'm sitting up here. Jupac was a monster. Julian King, and I'm sitting up here like, yeah, like man, I was there. So Kyle Locke was there. Um, that was his last year. So it was a few players that was there that um I was looking like, man. In my head, it made me like I need to step my game up like tremendous to be out here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because a lot of people don't realize there's a different level of playing in divisions. That's why there's divisions: Division 3, Division 2, Division 1. And that's not sitting here saying that guys that in Division 3 can't play Division 2, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
1, etc., etc. But it's the as a whole I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Now, some teams have, when they practice, they have those coaches that put them on that level. But as a whole, as Division 3, you will see that the style of play is a different style of play because you'll see in the beginning of the year why the Division 1 team will go play these Division 2 and 3s, and you see how they
Yeah.
they come around and how they playing. So in this atmosphere, I was sitting up here and I thought I was pretty like in my team. I'm like, yeah, I was fast. But then when I got up there, we went out on a track and Turk is racing against the track and field team, doing 100 with the track and field and damn near won.
Right. Right. Right.
So you're telling me he's can run a 10, he can run, it was like a 10-0 or 10-1 100 mile, 100-yard dash. And I'm like, nah, like like hold up.
What was he about? 6'8", what? Two what? About 230,
What?
225.
Nah, he was 6'9". No, Turk was 6'9".
6'9",
He was definitely right. Monsters, 250 easy. Like
250.
all
Yeah.
muscle
I know he's a
easy.
big boy. I know he was a big boy. I remember he was a big boy.
Yeah. Big, yeah. And he was yeah, we ran on the track, like the track team was out there when we went over there to the track and field just to run. And he raced with the track guys. And I'm not saying that he beat him. I forgot if he beat him or tied it. Like, man, he ran the 10. It was a 10-0 or 10-1. It was like that. It was crazy. And I'm sitting up there like, yo. In my head, I realized like, yo, I gotta pick it up. Like, I literally gotta, what I mean? My energy gotta be on, 100 on always. So my mindset changed because I was like, to freaking make this team, I see what I'm gonna have to do. I ain't gonna be able to score. Because like I said, don't get me wrong, and I was doing it in AI because, like I say, like listen, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, and I really never try to do this to myself, but I dropped in the area. I dropped 49 in a game. I dropped 42 in a game. I dropped. I mean, I was averaging at one point. I was averaging 36 a
Mm.
game. So I was putting the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
But like and I was even getting in for like I had 40-point games even there. But when I got up here to Coppin, and I'm sitting up here like, yo, it felt like a whole nother like domain. I was like, all right, so it was uncomfortable, but I'm glad that me growing up, I was always in uncomfortable situations to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because growing up, I got to high school at 4'9".
Mm.
I
So you broke.
graduated at yeah. What? Tell me about it. 4'9", 5 foot. I graduated at 5'4", five
Wow.
four, 5'5". Yes, I didn't grow until I got to college. So when I went to Ohio Valley. That's when what I mean. He. And I love his name was Jack Colgrove, Ohio Valley College. He gave me the opportunity. I love him. That's where I grew at. My first year there, like I said, I played baseball and basketball both years there. So my first year there, he I didn't see the growth.
Hmm.
What I mean is, when you're in college, you know, you mature in college. So the guys was much bigger and taller than me there. So I didn't see that I grew.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just,
Right.
I'm playing, right. I'm playing. I didn't see that I grew. I didn't see that, what I mean? I got stronger. I got bigger. 'Cause I was a little dude in high school, man. But that summer when I came home from my first year, and like I say, I played basketball and baseball. I didn't really do too well in basketball because, like I said, I didn't see the growth. But my baseball, I was all American. I batted what, 476 there,
Oh.
something like that. My first year, yeah,
Oh.
I did. You know what I mean? I was a baseball American there. I did my thing, and then that summer when I came home, I was like 6 foot,
Mm.
and the sproutness of me from my first year, from my high school to my first year, and then when I got home my first year, and God bless the dead, his name was Milt, Kawan Johnson father. And Kawan Johnson went to New Orleans, and
Okay.
then he was successful across season in the Philippines. But his father used to tell me, and playing basketball, like, he said, listen, yo, the sky's the limit for you if you just let yourself go. And that's all he used to say. I mean, you out here shooting all the time. You out here doing this all the time. You go 100%. Stop being scared of what you think you can't do and just let yourself go. And that's
Oh.
Milt. Like, he really, what I mean? He gave me the belief of, what, just let it go.
Yeah.
And when I went back my second year to Ohio Valley, coach saw the difference in my eyes. He saw the difference of how I was playing, and he just like, go. And you know what I mean? He just said, listen, we're gonna run and it wasn't saying he was gonna run an offense around me, but if y'all remember how Russell Westbrook, how he used to just go up and down the court,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's all I was doing. Flying, getting the ball, getting up the court, and the confidence that I had there at Ohio Valley was like tremendous, and it showed on the court. And then, me coming to Coppin, the whole situation, like I say, was uncomfortable when I was on that court, but the success that I had being uncomfortable, being, what I mean, when I was younger, when I got to Coppin, I saw that what I mean, to get to the next level, this is what I had to do, and that's what I did. And like, so when people was relaxing, I was working out.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? I was I was trying to figure out how to maintain that energy. I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna be better than Antoine Brockington, how I'm gonna be better than, just not saying that, I wanted to be better, but they was already at that point where, because they played already, they did their thing, so they knew what was expected. You know what I mean? I didn't know because, like I say,
Yeah.
I just saw it on TV.
Right. 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 Right.
it was totally different when I stepped on the court with them, and the game, and how the game changed at that level. Because at that one point, people didn't realize we had the hardest basketball schedule in the nation.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay,
I remember they
the
playing.
hardest. Yes, we didn't play the teams like everybody else played. We played the Kansas. We played the California with Jason Kidd. We played the UCLA. We played the Nebraskas with Tyrone Lue, the Nahara, the Kansas Jayhawks when they was there. We played those teams. Like when I was there, we played the Arizona.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean, with Jason Terry and Mike Beebe,
Yeah.
and he prepped us for that. Like, and that's the one thing I would say what Fane did that, a lot of people didn't realize, that it was a blessing, because when you get to that big stage, we wasn't scared.
Right. Right.
And that's saying that we're scared to lose or scared, but being uncomfortable and thinking that, oh man, it was like, all right, we can win this game.
Hmm.
I mean, and with me, in my head, I always said, "What, I'm gonna make the person beat me. If a person beat me, he beat me. And like literally, like I was that type of person. Like I know I wasn't more skilled than that person, but I know I had more heart than that person.
Right.
And I'm gonna bring that heart. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make it uncomfortable. I'm gonna bring that heart out. I'm gonna make sure that he know that. All right, well, Danny Singletary, yo, he he probably didn't score, but yo, he got 94 feet on me. He made me, turn, and that's what I was looking at. Um, and that's what I did at Coppin. Like I consider myself a role player. Whatever they needed me to do, I jumped out on the court and I did what I had to do to get it done.
Yeah. So at what point did you feel like you belong? As far as you coming
Um,
in, you with these guys, you see the level, you got to step your game up. At what point in your process did you feel like, all right, I'm where I belong at. I can play with these guys.
After my first year, that first year was interesting, because remember, I didn't play my first year.
Hmm.
That was the 95, 96s. I didn't play. I played the 97, 98, no, 96, 97, then the 97, 98.
Okay.
That first year I didn't play. I was at the practices, and I saw them. I saw them playing. I saw them balling. When I came in the 96, 97 era, um, everybody pretty much, the point guards left. So it was Twan, me, Troy, Fred, Warwick, Gerald. Um, and he just picked up, if you remember, Tito Willis.
I
He's a
remember.
Alfonso Jones. He's a B more.
I
He's
remember
a
that.
in B more cat.
I remember that.
Yeah. So he picked up some of these guys, and he pulled me to the side and said, "Listen, I got you out here, you know what I mean, to run the team."
Mm.
And he literally said that. He said, "I don't need you to score. You can see, you know what I mean, we got scores." And that's not saying that he didn't see me score. This is when, like I said, it was Turk, Reg. He was like, I just need you out there to run the team. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
I want you to play because in practice, that's all I used to do. Because remember, I didn't play that first year. So in
Mhm.
practice, I was a hunter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going in. I'm in Antoine. I'm in his. I'm like in his Josh rap. Like, yeah, you know what? Show
Yeah.
me what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Show me. You know what I mean? So as much, and that's one thing I learned playing down up in Patterson was, you can be the number one team in the nation, but playing a cross-town rival, your friends, that's gonna, and we're number 15.
Mhm.
That game is gonna be so hard for you, because of the fact that we know each other so well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So playing against Antoine like that, I knew his ins and outs. I knew his triggers. So I made it so difficult for him to, you know what I mean, when we practiced, I made it that much more difficult for him to score. So you had to figure out a whole nother way. You know what I mean? And that's the where, I came in and was like, all right, since I played against these guys and when I was practicing, now I should know their tendencies. I should know what they like, and dislikes. So that was one of the biggest things that, when I came in and played that 96, 97 year, um, I knew the dislikes and likes of Rash, Turt, and Julian, that team, like it was cool because they trusted me to run the team.
Right. Right.
So, it was, and this was some of the first. This is my first. Excuse me. This is my first year, and I'm like playing against these guys. I mean, and we wasn't losing. We like the most we lost by. People thought that with Coppin, in that time we got blew out one time, and that was against Illinois, and they had Kawhi Garris, something like that, and they beat us by 22. I still remember that game because every other game we were losing by 7, 8, 9 points, but the foul ratio was like 40 to 15.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like people always used to think like, oh man, like, but and when I look back at the games we played and who we played against, we was tough. I would say we went into a lot of these tough arenas and competed. We didn't get blown out. You know what I mean? The game stayed close because we was a second half team. So in the first half, for some reason, we didn't do what we needed to do to saying that we made it harder for ourselves in the first half, because then second half when we came together, we normally beat them in the second half, but they were so far up in the first half that for us coming back and then for us to take the lead or whatever the case, that was going to be definitely a task. But for us coming together, like we used to get at teams. And I used to tell them like, yo, I don't care how good they are. I don't care how talented they are. Make them play that man game. Like, yo, let's make them play the man. I don't care. Let's. To me, I always used to go, if a guy's is that much better than me, I'm gonna make them play the man game, not the skills game, because I know I don't got the skills.
Right.
But I'm gonna make them play that hard physical man. That remember the 21, the rough house, that type of game where you're gonna have to literally beat me. You know what I mean? Not just okay, I'm gonna let you come up the court. I'm gonna let you do what you want to do. Nah, I'm gonna see if you can cross me over. And that's the one thing that Fane used to always say to me, like, listen, I always see you going out and going hard. That's all. I just need you to lead the team, because if you lead, they're gonna follow you. You see, right? So it was that in the beginning, like I said, we played those games, those out of conference games, and then when the conference came in, that's when I kind of put myself in position to to take the lead of the team. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. That conference, it's pretty cool because when you go into out of conference games, you automatically the underdog. But in that era, Coppin was the top dogs, so everybody wanted to beat us. But if you remember Coppin, we had the longest home win streak in the nation.
Yeah.
If you remember, if nobody don't remember that, we was at 42, and Kansas just lost, so we took over that that home winning streak at 42, and it was crazy because we didn't even, out of conference teams didn't even want to come play. Like, we played Duquesne, we blew them out by like 27 at our home. Like, we was playing these games, right? We was playing these games. They did not want to come to us, and we lose to South Carolina State. One of our conference foes, South Carolina, even in that, North Carolina A&T at that time, that was my first. North Carolina A&T had a real good. People didn't realize North Carolina A&T had a real good team at that time. They had like 8 seniors on that squad, and I always used to say, like, if they stayed together for that long, that they was gonna be tough, and they was. And I'm just happy that I got the opportunity to play because, man, we was at Norfolk when in our tournament where we ended up beating them in overtime. Like, they was tough, but we ended up beating them in overtime, and they they gave us a run for our money. Like, even though South Carolina State beat us, but I mean, they wasn't like, it's a difference when you got a talented team to a fundamental team.
Mm.
That's what North Carolina A&T had at that time. That 96, 97. They had a fundamental. All of them were seniors. They played together for 4 years, so that everybody knew what everybody can do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that what made that team tough. And you can see that now when you look at these tournaments. That's why you don't see the Dukes go no more. You see these mid-majors, these George Masons, these VCUs, you know what I mean? These mid-majors, that these seniors that have been playing with each other for so long, Wichita State, that they go pretty far in these tournaments. You know what I mean? Because they've been through the storm, and they know what it takes to win. And especially in the big games where, don't get me wrong, you have a lot of talented freshmen and sophomores, but they still freshmen and sophomores. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when you got a good senior that been there for 4 years, he's a grown man.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's a grown. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, these freshmen, they talented, they go, but when you get a good solid team, these are grown men. They ain't gonna, so the stuff that they're gonna do to these young freshmen, where what I mean, you going on their talent. Yeah, once they put them in that post and they land that, what I mean, that body on them, and they not fit for it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why you see them, what I mean, getting out the picture real early in these tournaments.
Yeah. Yep. Talk to me about the legend, Coach Fang Mitchell, man. What was your first impressions of Fang when you under that whistle with him?
The one thing that Fang always did was challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
He challenged, and it wasn't, the one thing that I will always say, he wanted to always know that you was always ready. Because he'd say, yo, you can't now just be getting ready. You gotta always be ready. So you never had to get ready.
Right. There you go.
You see what I'm saying? So he will always challenge, and that was the biggest thing. He always challenged us. His personality was like, yo, you know where I came from? He was, oh man, you know where I came from? How hard it took to get here. So he wanted to know, like, and I think that was our demeanors anyway, because when we grew up in that era, we we wasn't scared of that challenge, what I mean, and that discipline of that came with it. Like, if you miss, you ran or something like that. Compared to nowadays, if you remember, they used to get at Bobby Knight and all them big time coaches for yelling at kids.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't, yeah. Like, you had to stop that. Like, they was like, no, you can't do that no more. You can't do this. You can't snatch a kid up. You can't do this because, yo, this is happening. This happening. And kids are crying because, yo, the coach yelled at me. And it was weird.
It is
Okay? It was
a different time.
right.
I coach high school basketball, so it's different. It's definitely a different time.
Yes. Yo, I was like, oh, snap. Like, I was used to that.
Yeah.
Coming here, like, My coach yelled all the time. Like, so from me playing, you know what I mean, from little, so I wasn't like, yo, I'm still gonna go out there and do what I need to do. It didn't matter if that next play he yelled at me and said da 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 da. I'm listening to why he yelled at me. I'm not listening to that he's yelling at me.
Right, right, right.
You
Is
know that
listen to the message, not the method.
right, and that's the crazy thing about the genre now. They're not listening to the message. They looking at the messenger and how he's relaying the message.
Right, right. Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
and they getting into their feelings over that. Like, you know, they not he's I mean, he's intense. You should be that much intense as well. So when you're looking at him, you should be like in the intensity that you see him looking at you and bringing it out. That shouldn't put you down. It should be like, you know what, you're right. I gotta step it up even more because yo, he sees it. He
Yeah.
sees it in me.
Yes.
But but the kids are different now. Like they're more or less of okay, you don't have to use that tone. You know what I mean? Okay, don't use that tone. I know what you're saying, but don't use that tone. You know, and I'm sitting up here like, hmm. So, and that was the difference between me, because like I say, hey, I'm gonna tell you, this is okay. I'm telling you, this is no lie. I played in a blacktop more than I played in the gym.
Right. Yes.
So playing on see what I'm saying? So playing on the blacktop, I were like the fouls are different. You're not, you know me, when you fall and scrape your body, you're not falling to scrape your body because you're going that much harder because you don't want to fall. You see what I'm saying? Compare that you're a gym rat, and there's nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong being a gym rat. And that's the thing. Please, for anybody that's listening, there's nothing wrong being, if this is your sport that you want to do, you're supposed to be a gym rat. But understand, a guy that played on a blacktop understands the roughness and the intensity that he's gonna have to bring compared to, you know, you playing and you going to a gym and it's nice settings and you got the good hardwood floor and you got the good bounce and everything looks so well. The lighting, you're not playing on a double rim and all of that comes in account when you know what I mean, when you have the luxury of it.
Brother.
When you out there grinding on the black top, okay, like okay, I used to listen. I used to have to imagine me. Remember, at that age I was at, trying to get a game.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. Look at yourself right now. Okay, look how big you are. Imagine me trying to get on a blacktop with the legends out there, trying to get next.
And you said you was 5'4", 5'5", graduating.
5'4", 5'5", trying to get next.
Nah.
Okay, right.
Nah.
So you could see where my intensity lied. Like I couldn't just get next for one,
Right.
and two, when you got next, you better show what you had to do. If somebody gonna, because you know they gonna do what you just did. You just how you would like that. That's what they did.
Somebody else.
They literally. Right, they literally try to push my, you know what I mean, push me in the head, like, oh man, get out of here. Nah, I'm pushing them right back. I'm like, yo, and oh, okay, that little man got heart. There you go, and that's where it started from.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you don't see that. You don't see that intensity where, you know, and that's not saying that it's not there. So let me get that right too. But you don't see that out there no more because of the fact that, you know, the era changed, and with the era changed, it came a different, you know what I mean, different way of balling. But
this is
now, right, and
I drive around like I think about places where we used to drive to different courts to play, and you be in those areas and you ride past and the courts are empty. I mean, it'd be nice days and some of them got lights and it's nice time. They
yo.
But you know, again, like kids, like they want the gym. They want to play in the gym in a controlled environment.
Exactly.
They got air conditioning in the gym and all that stuff.
Exactly. Comfortable.
Yeah, Yeah, real comfortable.
Okay, comfortable. You like. All right, I'm not gonna blame social media either because social media is a good platform. But remember, we didn't have social media growing up,
Mm-mm.
so we had to hear by ear who this dude was. So that means that we had to go across town
Go
to go
find.
see this dude. Yo, we going to see this dude. We gonna know somebody that's over there. Tell him where his father at. Let's lock up and let's go get it in.
Let's get it.
Like, you see what I'm saying? That's what we had to do.
Yeah.
So the whole hood is out. The whole hood is out because wait a minute. I heard that they said that they coming from the east side.
Yeah.
Now they ain't coming to the west side doing this. Where at?
Right.
With who? All right,
Gotta show me. Say I'm from Missouri. He froze up. Getting hot too. Let me see. Might be having a little technical difficulty. Give him a minute. Give him a minute to get that straight. I got Danny Singletary from Coppin State on that team. Are you back?
I'm back, brother.
Are you back? You froze up a minute. Yeah. So it's just the time is a different time. You know, and again, man, I coach kids. I coach high school, and the kids sometimes look at us like we talking about something from 75 years ago. Like, we didn't have access to gyms like y'all got. Nobody was open
Right.
the gym for us. Like we had to go play outside, but we wanted to play. We would play
Right.
all day, all night. You know what I'm saying? Until it was
See, and that's like, so like we had different courts to go into because they played at different times at different courts.
right, right.
So on a Saturday and Sunday, like I remember I used to go down. I remember I was in Patterson, New Jersey. We used to go to New York
Mm-hmm.
early, 6:30, early ball.
Mm-hmm.
Speedy Claxton and them, the legends.
Yeah.
I learned from them, and then we'll move over to Brownsville, to the YMCA in Brownsville, and then we'll make our way back to Spanish Harlem, playing with the Dominican Power guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different times when different people played that, what I mean, where the Gachos gym, just getting out and like, listen, that was a big thing. Like nowadays, everybody's cool, and that's not saying that's not that's not what it's supposed to be. But with us, we used to rep our hood.
For sure.
When we left, you knew who was in here. We got it in. We did them lovely.
Yep.
and they begging for us to come back because now they like, wait a minute, all right, it's like, and see, to me it was no surprise if we came and that's who you had out there in the hood. We had the guillotine effect to who it was. We didn't care how good or how sorry you was. When we left, you knew that Jersey, we was out here and we beat the bricks off of them. Like, and we let them know. So, you know what I mean? Oh, wait a minute. Y'all coming back next week? Yo, the whole hood is like, yo, y'all can't do this. Nah, we ain't come. You see what I'm saying? That's how our attitudes were, man. Like, we had the guillotine effect. Like, and I didn't care who it was.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I didn't care if you was good, not good. I mean, of course, the better was always the best. But if you wasn't good and you out there playing, man, listen, and because when you beat a certain squad and they be like, they scrubs or this and that. Wait till what you calling them got out. Well, let them know we'll be back here next week, but we giving y'all the business now. Yo, we can make them quit, K. We made them quit. Like, man, listen, man. We'll be back next week. Like, yo, tell your boys to be. This will be time. So the next time we came, it was war. It was like, yo, they was like, all right, and you saw it. Like when we went out and we came back, I still remember, and I didn't. And I'm gonna tell you like this. Remember, I'm a teenager, just coming out of college playing the ball, and like I told you, Speedy Claxton and all of them was out there in Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
We beat them.
Mm.
Speedy and all of them wasn't there yet though.
Right.
They, because they, it was the other cats that, they Speedy and all them play, but we beat them. And by the time when they leaving, we leaving, they coming in. They was like, yo, that's them right there, because somebody must have called them or whatever. But we leaving, and so they was like, yo, but we tired, like, yo, we'll be back next week. Nah, I ain't going down because you fresh. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if I'm gonna play the best, I want to play the best at my best.
Right.
I don't want to already play like 10 games. You know what I mean? And now the best comes out, and then they be like, oh man, but we already played you know what I mean? We already played 10 games. We already cracked y'all. Like, come on. Nah, we go, and that's what I said. We made our rounds. Listen, Saturdays and Sundays, we made our rounds. Man, we come back to Jersey, and then you know what I mean, we played a little bit, you know what I mean, in our hoods. But the best thing, the one that I did like that, we did go out. We had they had a called Dream Team 1. We was a Dream Team 2. We had a couple of guys that we played with because the Dream Team 1, you know, if you remember James Scott, we had some legends that at our basketball legends that they went out and went to other spots and played and did their thing. We played against them too. Yo, it was crazy because once I grew and I already had the mindset at you know what I mean, I was already 7 foot when I was 5'4". But once I got to my you know what I mean, once I grew into myself at the you know what I mean, and at 6 foot and saw that, you know, it didn't matter who you were in front of me. I'm still coming at you.
Yeah.
It was a whole different ball game. Like when I stepped on the court against a lot of guys. And let me go back just a little bit, because if you remember when I said when I was 5'4" and guys was pushing me out the way, I had a list. Okay, I had a list of people. When I came back from college, I swear to you not, like when I was, because you know I played both baseball and basketball, you know, and I played some football, but baseball and basketball I played. So it was, you know, I was a little dude in basketball, so it was a list. I had a list of guys like, yo, when I get back from this, yo, I'm going at each. I got home, but remember, like I told you, like when I grew into my size and did what that after that sophomore year, when I got back home and I saw that, like, yeah, my skills definitely improved.
Mm-hmm.
My list got real small.
Yeah.
My list went from, like, I had a whole composition list, like, yo, I'm going at him. I'm going at him. If I see him out on the court, because I remember, you know what I mean? Like, elephant, I remember, like, yo, I remember when you used to push, man, like, yo, when I got back and, yo, because, hey, when I got by my sophomore year, I was dunking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was dunking. So it was, and not remember, not dunking in the basketball court. We dunking on a hard top.
Right.
So I'm like, yes. So if you understand that, that means I'm hitting you. I'm taking a contact and I'm going hard. I'm not taking that foul. Nah.
Yeah.
I'm going through all that. Right. I'm through all that. Nah. And you know, so when people really saw me once I came back, like, and came into my own,
Mm-hmm.
they used to be like, oh man, yeah, he is different right now. And it wasn't a flashy different. It was a fundamentally sound. I'm not going left to right. I'm going north and south,
So yeah.
straight down your chest.
Yeah.
Straight down your chest type of, you know what I mean, type of play. Um and then just shooting, like I just started shooting jump shots out the jump shot, and I went from just shooting 500 jump shots total to doing 500 made jump shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it became different. Okay. Um, it it made me understand, like, now when, like, when I got up in age. I'm not talking about down there, but when I got up in age, understanding what a professional is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, okay. I'm gonna be so honest with you here. I tell kids, and the kids, that when I go out there and they be, you know, and like I say, you never lose something that you did good, and I did good in shooting. So couple of shots. Once I get going, I can still shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And Cash used to say, "How you still shoot? You know what I mean? You still shoot? Hey, big guy, like yo, big man, like yo, you." First thing first, I'm not a big dude. I'm only 6 foot. So the second thing is, I shot.
Uh-oh. Somebody must be trying to call him. Somebody see him on TV. Said, "Let me call him." He froze up right quick. Got Danny Singletary, Coppin State legend. We ain't even talked about the games yet. We just getting the history. We getting the background. There's some good stuff though. You know, y'all tuned in. Appreciate y'all. Lock in. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Facebook. Hit the likes. Get them likes up. Appreciate y'all with the comments. Shout out Kathy Jones, my man Thad, Girl Nicole. Yeah, he dropped off. Hopefully he get that work them technical difficulties out. But yeah, I got Coppin State legend from the 96, 97, 97, 98. And here he coming back.
There you go.
There you go. You
I
back?
apologize, brother.
Oh man, it's all good. It's all good. You know this technology, brother. We work around it.
Apologize. Oh man. So yeah, man. I'm in the house now. So hold up.
Yeah,
Let me
we all good.
come over here.
Get yourself situated.
Get a nice little setup for you.
Yeah, we situated. We good. So you know, like I was just saying to the people, you know, we haven't even got to the game yet. We just getting that background, you know, telling your story a little bit, telling how you got to Coppin, talking about your grind, your journey up. You know, I learned a few things. I learned some things about you. You know, see, by the time I saw you, you was already ready. You know what I mean? By the time I knew who you are, you was already boogieing. You know, and I think I came to Coppin 90. I think I came that year, 96, 97.
Okay.
That's the year I got there. So I was there, you know, both of your years. And then I left. I actually went back a few years later to get my degree back in I went back in 2013, 14. I graduated in 2016. So
Hold up just a second. Just a second. I think I hold up. Just a second. Hold up.
Yep, I'm here. So yeah, so you know, we chopping it up. We great get into the big game, you know, to put Coppin on the map. Well, the first game to put Coppin on the map, we talked about a little earlier, was in 89, I think, 89, 90, where Larry Stewart and them guys went down College Park and knocked off Maryland. And that's what kind of got eyes on Coppin and Fang Mitchell and what he had going on down there. And you know, they won the MEAC quite a few years. In those years, the early 90s leading into the mid 90s when Danny Singletary and Turkman Mott, you know, Antoine Brockington, all them guys was up there. And they made history as a 15 seed in the NCAA tournament. And, that's what we're going to get into that in a minute. Back.
Yep, I'm here now.
All right. Yeah, so so the you know, leading into your, I guess that was your junior year, right?
Yeah, that would be my junior year. With Turk and them, but my senior year was with me. It was me and Antoine Brockington.
Yeah. All right.
So which year you saying?
So your junior year, you know, that's the year that y'all guys go.
Yeah, we went to the tournament.
To the tournament as a 15 seed, and you go, and them games was up in what was that? Y'all were up in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, we was right. We was at the Spectrum.
Yeah, up in Pittsburgh, I remember. And I didn't see the game live because I was at work, and I remember I got home and my homeboy called me, was like, he said something about Coppin game. I said, what they lose by? He said, "Nah, they won.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won." And I said, "Hold up, they beat South Carolina." He said, "Yeah, they won. They won the game, man." So I didn't get to see it live. I've seen it since, of course, but I didn't get to see it live. So just tell me about going into that game, and then what was the mood of the team going into it, and then getting through it.
Gotcha. So the one thing that I think Fane did that, like I told you when we first started, that what I appreciated was him having given us a hard schedule going into different uncomfortable situations and seeing we can pull it out.
Mhm.
It tests your heart. So when you're going into somebody else's home and you're trying to take something from them that you know that it's going to be almost impossible to do, especially when you playing against five and then plus the three refs, that's eight against five. You know, you gotta be mentally strong, not just physically, because you definitely got to beat them. You're not gonna just pull out. I mean, that's not saying teams never go beat a team, but how many times you really gonna beat that team 65-64? You know what I mean? How many times? More times out of 10, they're gonna beat you way more times. And out of 10 games, they probably beat you 7-8 games out of the. You know what I mean? Out of 10 games.
Right.
So when we got there, um, Derek Brown, our assistant coach, said, go sit outside. And I'm glad you can hear me, right?
Yeah,
Hear
I
me
can.
pretty good. Okay. So when I went and sat out there, no lie, okay, I, I looked up. I saw people in the nosebleed section. Boy, my heart was like, like I was like, oh man. Like we sat and watched the game before us. I think, and the game before us was Texas, and I forgot it was Texas and somebody. And we watching the game, and I'm sitting up here like, yo, chills is just going through my body because you know, that's not saying that it's not that many people going to play when we played them, but you in something totally different now. Like, and the whole building is packed. The
Mhm.
whole, not just, one side and one, the whole building is packed. And I'm looking, and that was the best thing that they could have did for us. And it eased our tensions. Now it went from not knowing what to expect when we get out there to we know what we got to do now, since we know what I mean, we felt the atmosphere.
Yeah.
We know that, it's the jitters is out. The game is going to be the game, but it's the jitters that you got to get comfortable with first before, what I mean, you get out there and start doing what you need to do. Because that's not saying that it could have went totally different if we never would have saw the atmosphere that we saw.
Right.
Oh, by the way,
There you go.
at the homecoming, remember when you was there?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the shot, but they left it for me. But anyway, um, it the feeling was good. So when I got out there and if you remember, I came off the bench.
Yeah, I remember.
Like starting wasn't like I was, for some reason, I was a little jittery, but coming off the bench, I felt so much more comfortable coming off the bench. I think it was because I saw the person who I was going to be guarding, or saw multiple people that I was going to be guarding, and seeing their tendencies. That was one of my biggest things, of seeing what they like to do, what they don't like to do. Because I want to challenge them. I want to challenge them early. But if somebody can go out there and they're doing their thing, I can go, okay, I might can, get a little advantage if I do that. I was good. So in that game, like I said, if like I remember that game, we was down. We wasn't down a lot. I think the most we was down was by like 5, 6. But what I always said was, remember, I always had that guillotine effect. I remember when we got there to practice, they was already talking about who they was playing next.
No respect.
You know what I mean? When as they walking off the floor and we're walking on the floor, they walking past us talking about the game. It was the Texas. You know what I mean? Who are Texas played that Texas beat. Who they was gonna play next? And as they walking off the floor, and that kind of got me a little like, oh damn, they're really not even looking at us at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's obviously because I think that year they beat Kentucky twice.
Yeah.
And you know, Kentucky was a tough team.
Yeah.
They beat Kentucky twice that year. And I think, you know,
Kentucky went to the chip that year, didn't they?
That year, who went to the chip? I forget. Was it Arizona?
Arizona won it in '97.
Right.
Kentucky.
Right. So
Kentucky could have went back to back.
Okay. And that Kentucky team was tough. You knew that. Like they was tough from top to bottom. The one thing I think we had compared to a lot of teams was speed. Mm-hmm. That's not saying we wasn't athletic, but if you watch that whole Kentucky team was athletic. From 1 to 12, that the last man on the bench probably could dunk. Like easy. Like if you know what I mean, if you put them all up there, they probably all dunk, boom, boom, boom. But speed, like quicker. Yes. They might have been athletic, but we was definitely I can get the, you know what I mean? I can get down the court. Probably I'm gonna be totally honest with you because I had an SB nomination. We played Iowa State. I got down the court in 3 seconds to make a layup in the SB. Yeah. Wow. And we was playing Iowa State. We lost to Iowa State in overtime. We was beating them by 16 at one point. We end up losing to Iowa State, I think by like 6 in overtime. But 3 days, you know what I mean? We was down by 2. I got the ball at about the foul line, and it was like 4 seconds on the clock. Got down the court within 3 seconds, and you know what I mean, made the layup. That's what. So we was like, just to say this, the fast. We was definitely just as fast as them or faster.
Yeah.
Evenly, because at that time, BJ Mackey and them, they was athletic because they was some big cats, but like they must have really took that game. I don't want to say lightly because at the end you could see the result, but they took it for granted.
Granted, for sure.
You know what I mean? And not playing that. I always used to say if I play against somebody that got to put on the same way I put on my pants, I'm going at you the same way. Right. And I don't think they did the same thing that we did to them. Like we was definitely hungry. We knew that we can compete with any team. It was just us. Yeah. And that game came. We came together. But you know what? Let's go back. I'm gonna go back a little bit, okay? Because this was the year. Did you hear about the Howard game?
You know what? I just saw a video earlier today where Brockington was explaining. He was kind of talking about him and Turk coming out the locker room. They was the last two out, and it went down.
Listen, okay, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, so this is. Oh my Lord. So you know, at the 10-minute mark, we always go downstairs. Mm-hmm. So I'm always the ones that always have the balls to go downstairs to come back up. So in our warm-ups, this dude slapped Turk on the butt. Not saying names, you know what I mean, but slapped Turk on the butt. in the whole layup line, Turk is like, he think, he just, you know, he he think I'm soft.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
He think I'm soft. And I'm sitting up here like, come on, man. Like, layups, dude. Come on. Like, yo, let's get warmed up. Like, yo.
You trying to get him
Yo.
broken.
Right. He ain't trying to hear me. Yo, he think I'm soft for real. Like, oh man. Yo. So 10-minute mark comes. Like clockwork. I grab the 2 balls. I'm normally always the last one going down the stairs because I got the balls. I went to get the balls. You know what I mean? I'm coming downstairs. We going downstairs. Turk goes, go ahead. So I didn't think nothing of it. Okay, I'm all right. We hit the bottom of the stairs. I go in. Is it out already? What happened?
I saw it today.
You saw it today?
I saw a video today. I was, doing my little research.
What did the video say? So I'm trying to
So Brockington was telling the story. Antoine Brockington was telling the story. So
Brock told the story?
Yeah, he was telling the story. It's on YouTube. I saw it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. Please have me on again if you want to just do that story because I gotta see what he's saying. I don't want to.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yes, let's do that for another day, okay? But because I gotta make sure because like I was about to
call him and get him on too.
All right, I definitely would. Matter of fact, that's what we'll do. Okay, the next time, let me know. We could do that because that would be a good story to have because it was way more than what we got to make sure. Like, I got to make sure. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I got to call a couple people just to make sure, like, all right, listen, like, I really want to do this because I know the interview that they had about it. And if you seen the interview, bits and pieces, I just want to make sure that, we all on the right page. I want to be like, yo, okay, but I definitely hit you with the exclusive. Matter of fact, you hit me afterwards and I hit you with the, you know what I mean? Like, yo, but other than that, like, yo, that Howard game, but I'm going to say this, that Howard game. And I'm going to tell you like this. In this sport, if you don't have intensity between teammates like that, y'all chemistry ain't where it should be. The reason and this is how I try to explain to the kids. The hardest basketball game should be between 2 teammates in practice.
Goodness gracious.
Okay. You know what I mean? People don't realize that should be the hardest game y'all should be playing.
Listen, hold it, stop right there. That little thing you just said, I'm gonna splice that up and I'm gonna send that to my team. I'm sending that to I've said that to them. I've said it. The game should be the easy part. The practice is where you should be grinding and really working. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Thank you. You just confirmed what I've been saying for 25 years.
Hey, like I said, like practice should be the hardest game you play.
Yes, sir.
People don't, and that's where if you saw the Kobe's, if you ever see him, and that's not sitting here saying that how Iverson said practice. He didn't mean it like that. Right. And I understood that.
Right.
But one thing people have to understand is everybody can't turn on and off a light. You can't just say, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna turn this light on and now I'm gonna score this many points." You can't do that. And that teammate should know that. those teammates around you and you around them should know your triggers. They should know your tendencies. They should know when you upset. They should know when you happy. But this is the thing. When I speak to kids, I always let them know you should be trying to have perfect practice. And they be like, there's no such thing. Right. So how hard are you practicing to have a perfect practice then?
Right.
How hard are you going to have a perfect practice? Because I need to understand this part. If a professional, and I just switch it up on them. I say, as a professional, if your mom and pops go to work, how many hours a day? How many hours a day and how many hours a week that they need to do it? This is professional now.
Mm-hmm.
They go, okay, 40 hours a week is a full-time week, right?
Yep.
How long are you in the gym? So you're telling me to be a professional, you need 40 hours a week, but you tell me you in the gym, we're going to say the max, 3 hours. You only in the gym 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 15 hours. So you're telling me a professional is 40 and you 15. You are automatically behind the 8 ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is how I explain it to them, because now when they see the aspects of them being who they really wanted to be, that's when I say perfect practice. Because if you're not coming off the court like this, oh my God. And from that point, you going home, you taking a shower, you know what I mean, and you know your homework and whatever the case, and you going to sleep because you got to get up and do it again the next day. You're not in there perfectly practicing. You're in there messing around. You know, you're not taking it seriously. You're trying to do an on and off switch.
Yep.
You got professional players that can't do on and off switches. So you think you can, and you already know that you're not a professional yet.
Right.
But you thinking that you can just come in here and, you know, and when I let kids see it in that way, they look at me like, oh snap. Yeah. Now, and I always tell them. And it's crazy that we changed up a little bit, because when I think my thing went out and I was saying, this is the difference between you and a professional player, a real professional. You shoot until you make him.
Right.
He shoots till he can't miss him.
Right.
It's a big difference.
Big difference. Big difference. And you said something a little while ago to where, you know, you were saying you was getting up 500 shots at one time, and then you wasn't leaving until you had 500 makes. You know, and I know, you know, I tell kids again, you know, you gotta, if we just don't leave till you get 100 makes. You know what I'm saying? But it's the makes. It's not the amount of shots you get up. It's the makes. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
when you see the ball going in the hole, your confidence. You know what I'm saying? And then then you begin to shoot with confidence. You begin to play with confidence. Everything changes when you have confidence that when the ball
Exactly.
comes, it's going in.
Exactly.
So when
Like,
you on the court working out, you know, you got to set a goal for yourself to have 500 makes from this spot.
right.
I ain't even talking about total. I'm talking about from here.
From a spot. Right. Exactly. It's a big, hey, I'm gonna tell you, and down here, I was working out with the Nets. And this is when they had Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, and they had Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, they had Richard Jefferson, they had Vince Carter, they had right down here at because they worked out at the Meadowlands. They worked out in New Jersey South.
Right.
And people don't realize that to get to 500 makes, you know how difficult that is?
That's tough.
To shoot. So they used to could not leave a spot until they had 10 in a row. You know how many times they got the 8 and missed? You know how many people don't realize, like, you probably shoot in a corner. If you want to shoot 10 times make 10 in a row, not just shoot 10 in a row, not just shoot 10 make 10 in a row. You know how long they is probably in that corner?
Yeah.
Doing 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? And remember, 60% and 50% and 40% is great in the NBA. See, if you ever look at the percentages, yo, you shoot 50%, but he's trying to do 10 in a row in this corner.
Right.
He ain't going nowhere to 10 in a row. He didn't say 4 in a row or 5 in a row or just 5 makes. He said 10 in a row, and then he moved to the next spot.
Yep.
So I got there. I was like, being a professional, it's a whole nother level.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
when I say that 12th man, this is what people don't realize. Even though he might be 12th on the bench, he's still in the league.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's there for a reason. Everybody can be a critic of all you want, but you really don't hear a lot of pro ball players. Like, I'm gonna give you a prime example. You don't hear a lot of pro ball players saying Bronny is terrible. You don't hear a lot of people. You only hear people saying that.
Yeah, people that ain't got no business saying it, really.
Right.
People that couldn't check him.
Right. But Bronny, that's not sitting here saying that he should be whatever but you don't hear them going, oh, he can't make. Yo, you see what he can do. That's not sitting here saying he can be a star or whatever the case, but he holds his own.
Yeah.
So imagine if he's holding his own in the league, man, you see that he's making it starting to look easy. That's what, when I listen to people, when people talking, they want to criticize, and I be sitting up here like, people really don't understand what a professional have to really go through. And remember, Bronny just came out of, he had heart problems.
Yeah, he had a heart attack. Yeah.
So
a little over a year ago.
Right. Not just recently, not like, yo, this is not far down the line. So for him doing what he's doing is amazing, man. Like, people don't understand what he probably had to get up at 6 a.m. He worked. Okay, I'm gonna give you another one. I'm sorry. Down here at the Sandy Hill League, I was working out with Eddie Jones and them.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, they used to get up at 6 a.m. and do a 6 to 9 workout. Mm-hmm. Rest to 11, do a 12 to 3 workout. Rest to 4 and do a 5 to 8 workout.
That's tough.
In Philly.
That's tough.
In Philly, I was done after the first half one. Like, because I wasn't, my body wasn't prepped like that. My body, you know what I mean? So, I mean, they worked on every aspect of their game every day.
Every day.
It wasn't like, we went out there and we balled, and it was like, I'm talking about we balled out. We played 20 games. They worked, all right, well, that's just first session. Are we gonna go home? So what they did was they had a masseuse. Mm-hmm. They ripped their body, did what they did. After their second workout, they got into a little thing just to make sure they body was still good for their last, their last workout. And then guess what they did? They did the ice thing. That's what I learned about the ice thing.
Right.
The ice therapy.
Right.
To do it all again the next day. It was crazy because so I know we way beyond, but playing, with at Coppin, and we did our thing. After that, I know we went beyond, but I got drafted, and I played with the Arizona Diamondbacks, professional baseball. And it's crazy because if the stuff that I picked up and I know now, like I said, and we just retracting on what we were just talking about the nutritionist. If I would have knew that back then,
Right.
hey, I probably would have. You know, you probably been, you know, even though I played for 6 years, I probably would have did much better than, you know, even, and I still did well just to go as far as did. I probably would have did much better because I would have understood how to be a professional much better than, you know what I mean, a kid that's coming from a historic black college and didn't really know how to, you know, be a professional.
Yeah. So how far did you get in baseball? Like what?
So baseball is political. So you have A ball, you got double A, you got triple A, and you got the major leagues. Five. You got 5 organizations, and you know what I mean. So I got up. So when you in triple A, people don't think triple A is right there to the majors. Triple A is for the guys that really couldn't make the majors.
Right.
So they in AAA waiting for that 10-day, you know what I mean? Somebody IR, they come up for the 10 days. They right there, but they didn't just hit the, you know what I mean, get over it yet. Double A is where all the prospects is at.
Yeah.
So when I went up to double A, I mean, you saw the prospects.
Mm-hmm.
You saw them, you know, raking. You saw them like, all right. And it went from A ball where everything was here to by the time you got the AAA and the major leagues, everything was here. So if I miss or the pitcher wanted to miss is a reason why he missed this spot because this is where he wanted to miss at.
Right.
So with me, I would see ball hit the ball. And it was, like I say, it was an honor to be there. But if I would have knew the stuff, like a lot of things I picked up was later on, and you know what I mean, later on, and it's pretty much after, you know, baseball or just after like doing what I need to do, and that's maturing. That's just understanding now the science of the game because, like you say, you can now if you even hear about the people that's talking about it now and the Barry Bonds, you know what I mean, Ken Griffey's, you see the science and what, you know what I mean, it is now. I wish I'd have had that opportunity in that tutelage because when I was growing up, I did it for the love.
Right.
And doing it for the love is the best thing ever. But I didn't have the tutelage that, you know what I mean, a lot of these guys had. I was just seeing ball hit the ball.
Right.
And I got better at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I remember I went to Coppin and we had coaches, but it wasn't to that point where, you know, it's a reason why, you know what I mean, okay, you want to see the ball hit the ball this way. And you know what I mean? So it made it make sense. It was me in there like, all right, oh, this is the same thing I saw in high school. You know what I mean? See the ball hit the ball. Like the same thing I saw. So it was crazy because like once I got up there and they started trying to explain it to me, I was behind the 8 ball. So I like now, like I say, I train some kids and I don't do it often, but if you know, if say if you have a son and you be like, hey, you know, can you give him some pointers? I always used to tell them the first thing you have to do is understand you. And they be like, what you mean? I said, you can't get too high understanding that, you know what I mean, you this type of player. Just understand what you can do so I can help you for the things that you can't do well.
Right.
Because the stuff that you're going to do well, when we play the game, I'm not going to ask you not to do. You see what I'm saying, Kay? Like when we in practice, that's just like basketball. We practice for perfect practice. But when you're in a game, I want you to do what you know how to do.
Right.
We practice until you know how to do that well. And then when you get out there, I'll let you, you're like, hey, I'll be like, hey, da-da-da-da. But if you're not practicing that, I can expect you to play that.
Right.
I'm just saying that's just general knowledge to me. And I will always tell kids that. I'll be like, listen, so when you talk to me, don't sit up here and think that you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know yourself so I can help you, you know what I mean, get to where you're trying to get to. I can't get you over the top. You got to get yourself over the top. I can just give you, you know what I mean, the fundamentals of how to get there.
Yep.
But your determination, your hardcore, your determination and your skill set of what you need to do and how you want to do it is going to get you over the top.
That's right.
But if you sitting up here thinking you know everything, then I ain't gonna be. It's gonna be hard for me to go. Okay, well, can you see this or can you see that? Because then I'm gonna be fighting against you. You know what I mean? And we really not gonna be. You know, you just gonna be at square one at the end of the day.
Spinning wheels. Spinning wheels. That's all you can do. At that point, spinning wheels. Yeah. But yeah, so man, we didn't got a lot of info out here. What are you doing these days?
Well, at this time, I'm a loss prevention officer for Home Depot. So, I like I say, once in a blue, if like, okay, I don't express myself out there and be like, yeah, I did this, I did that. It's crazy because my biggest thing was I did want to have a I would love to go back into training kids, not coaching kids, but training kids. Coaching kids was one of the hardest things I did, and it wasn't. It wasn't the kids; it was the parents.
Right.
I had to deal with the parents' egos. I had to deal with the parent. Like the parents is upset because why his kid or her kid wasn't playing. Mm-hmm. So training them was totally different because then I didn't have to worry about their egos. I was like, your parents paying me to train you. Right. So you're here because you want to learn something more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I believe I got a couple of things that you can, if you work on this, that will help you. I didn't have to sit up here and be like, okay. And then the parents like, yo, why he's not playing? No, I didn't have to do none of that. It was like, oh, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And it was for me when I speak to and even with it's funny that you said that because even with some when I was because I just moved back here from Georgia, shooting, we was out there shooting, and I ain't gonna say no names, but he was like, and remember how I said about going 8 out of 10 all the time? It was constant 8 out of 10. So if you think about what I said, we shot 100 threes.
Right.
100 threes. Mm-hmm. I guarantee I know I was going to make at least 85 to 90.
Right.
I knew that for a fact. Listen, okay, if anything I knew for a fact, because that's all I did was shoot and shoot and shoot. Mm-hmm. I had a hip replacement.
Okay.
So if I didn't do nothing else, I couldn't run no more. I can shoot.
Right.
And so I knew for a fact that, like I said, I as a professional, and before I'm talking about this situation, this dude used to always say, you shoot till you can't miss. Mm. You don't shoot till you make it. You shoot till you can't miss this shot. So I knew if I get to that spot, I'm hitting this shot right here. I know if I get to the spot, I'm hitting this. You shoot till you can't miss this shot. And once I learned that aspect, it wasn't nothing to shoot 8 out of 10 and be there for a couple of times because I'm shooting 8 out of 10. Not shooting like 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. I'm shooting 8 out of 10. So the consistency of making 8 out of 10 was always the big thing. Getting to the next, the 5 spots, the corner, the the corner, then the arc, and then the middle. But yo, this guy, I mean, in he was in a G, he was in the G League, and I was speaking to someone, a young guy, and me and him started talking, and I can hear the difference because it was a question asked, and remember, I'm 50, so in my eyes, I said there was more basketball players back then than now.
Right.
And he was like, "What you talking about?" Oh man, we a cook y'all. You know what I mean? And I was saying, and I said, it might so. You might so, but nowadays, y'all not basketball players. Y'all specialists of certain things. So you have one guy that can shoot very well. You have one guy that can just jump. You have back then they wasn't as athletic as y'all, so they did everything well. That they had to work on everything to do well. You could have Jay Bushler, that can 12 man off the bench for the Bulls, would come in. If you left him open, he would hit that 3-pointer.
Yep.
People didn't realize that. Like, yo, if that was that, and that's what the basketball players were back in the day, because that's what they worked on. This is what constantly worked on. As time went, and athleticism came into play. People, they became basketball specialists. Like, guys couldn't really dribble, but they could shoot, or guys couldn't shoot, but they could slash. You know what I mean? So you went from having a center, a forward, a shooting guard to a point guard, to having now wingmen. And you know what I mean, you changing the name because everything, it's a good thing. They, it evolutionized, but you don't have a big man no more, because the big man now is a shooter, or the big man, you know what I mean? So the game changed, and I knew that. But at the end of the day, everybody wasn't doing that no more. They, certain people couldn't do certain things. So it was like, okay, why do that? And so when I explained it to him like that, he was like, well, and I said, well, we could do that now. We could shoot 100 threes. I'll let you shoot. We'll do it, 10 from each spot, and let's see what you can do. Like, I think I hit like 93, 94. Yeah. I would, because so this is the thing. And the one thing I saw that a lot of the kids these days and didn't have the mindset, and when I said the mindset was, as a professional, you'll see the difference. You'll see a professional, they'll stay in the gym. Their craft is their craft, and they're gonna master their craft.
Yep. So
I'm not coming to the gym just to fool around with cats that I don't know.
Right.
That's just me.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a professional, when I come to the gym, it's meaningful. It's the reason why I'm coming to the gym. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not just coming to play and like I say, it was LA Fitness. So I was like, yo, you come here, you can get hurt, dude. Like, I know you playing in the league. I'm playing in G League. He was across seas, and I'm like, yo, you can get hurt, man. But I need to run. I understand that, but you're a professional now.
Yeah.
This can hurt you for real. And he was just like, what you mean? I was like, yo, you don't come here and play here. Listen, you go to the weight room, you get your workout in, you come in here and run, and you shoot, and you go home, or whatever the case. You don't come in here and try to get some runs. That's not like, dude, you got it. Like, he was like, nah, well, then you call up a bunch of people, you get on Facebook or something and see who's home, and you work out with them, because they know the etiquette of what you're doing.
Right.
Out here, you know what I mean? Out here is the Eagles. Man, if they know you in the league and they know you can do certain things, they want to win. They know they want a reputation on you. You know what's about to happen to you?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I had to explain it to him, and I was like, yo, you still, man, listen, nah, you don't do that. You hit the weight room, you run. I mean, and that's not saying that he wasn't doing that, but you home.
Yeah.
You still do the same thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be no different.
Right.
Like you don't sit up here and come out and play with me. Like nah, and that's not saying that I don't know. Like I knew that you was playing somewhere higher than a college because of your athletic build and you could see the difference. But I'm out here like, and even with me, I was like, yo, you don't see me out here trying to play with these guys. Listen, I'm shooting. I'm gonna get my shots up. And I'm going home. And I mean, this is me working. This is not me being a, professional. But once I saw him again and he shook my hand and he, like I said, off cam, I'll definitely tell you, but he, he was like, yo, thank you. I appreciate that because, I saw a few people. And like I said, I was in Georgia for the last 4 years. I just moved back to Jersey. That in LA Fitness is the heaviest out there.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards, Shaq, Sharif Abdul Rahim, playing with and I'm in this and I'm sitting up here like, me, this is no lie. The first time I came out here, man, listen, I'm like, I could do this. I got a hip replacement. I told you I have a hip replacement. I'm thinking I can be out here and play. Man, listen, I went half court. I raised my hand. Like, nah, you know what? I like the LA Fitness size gym. Yo, I can't now. Like, yo, I couldn't even make it. Yo, them gyms are. Oh my Lord, they're playing because I was trying to play in this. Got down there trying to play in this a men's league, and it was NBA rules, stuff like that. Thinking, I can still compete. No, negative. I could see the difference. That's why I said there's a difference when you're a professional out here balling and you just me, average Joe, thinking that, you know what I mean, living my past glory. Nah, negative. Like, okay. Keep me in the LA Fitness setting. Like, it's small. Like, half court. Let me work. Like, but anything doing that, man, listen, I was like, man, and it's crazy because it's, man, like, this is my first, this is my second podcast. The first one was very short, but I definitely appreciate, like, because it's the memories, and I haven't spoken like this in so long because of the fact that, I don't just, like when I listen to people, I just like to listen and, keep, just taking the knowledge. And this right here was just like, like the experiences that I had and did have. And now, like, I see that I can, explain some things to certain people, but yeah, this world, it's interesting, man. It's definitely interesting that when our era compared to the era now, that you can see the difference.
For sure.
And how they relate to us.
Yep. No doubt about that. No doubt. You know what? We're gonna have to run. We definitely got to run it back.
Okay. I'll definitely. You let me know the next time, and we could. It's definitely you, and you give me a definitely a topic, and we can definitely run off that because this was pretty cool. I appreciate that you allow me to come on and just speak about some lifetime memories that that's always gonna be there, and just in general, just generalization of today's in today's world of in just life and professional, and it was just it's cool, man. I appreciate everything that you did for me today.
Yeah, I'm a fan first. You know what I'm saying, and so I got to see you up close and personal up there at Coppin. I think you came out there one Friday with us. I was in part of the Friday gang that we used to play up in the Coppin Center every Friday up there. I think you came out there with us one Friday. You ain't go too hard, but you showed us. Yeah, I'm a little different from the rest of y'all.
Hey, yo, and K, crazy thing. We talk, me and like you was talking about Adrian Price. We was talking about that outside at the homecoming talking about on Fridays when cats used to come from all over at 12 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And like, yo, I was just like, oh man, like,
listen,
hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, Kay. It's crazy because if I would have had, I didn't have the tutelage a lot of people had. Like, I just had the determination of whatever I can do, I'm gonna see if I can be the best at it.
Yep.
And I think if the tutelage was been a little bit more, and I'd have been a little bit more sincere for basketball, I'd have tried taking basketball to a whole different level.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I could have did that level until I had a stint with the Tampa Bay Thunderdogs, the semi-pro team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I had a contract with the Tampa Bay Thunderdogs. I did that. That was the one right after because you remember the CBA was there.
Yeah.
And then when the CBA came out, that new league, I forgot the league, what it was called. It just came out right after the CBA.
Mm-hmm.
And they had teams. We I had a little stint with them. And the crazy thing is if I would have been more seasoned, I think it'd have been a little different. Like, I came from playing baseball, so I didn't. When I'm still playing professionally baseball, and I'm trying to get out here and trying to get another contract in a whole different sport. When you're in a professional sport like that, like that's why I give the Deion Sanders, the Bo Jackson athletes awards. Even Charlie Ward. People don't realize even Charlie Ward to me was one of the best athletes.
Yeah.
Of this era. And a lot of people think they was like, what you talking about? I said Charlie Ward. They kept, because people don't realize that, and I always say, I say, listen, to me, an athlete is a person that can play two or more sports. That's what I call athletes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not sitting here saying that person that plays basketball isn't athletic.
Right.
But you considering him being an athlete if he never played, like, listen, okay, Charlie Ward, he got the most prestige prestige trophy in football.
Yes, sir.
But then had a career in basketball professionally.
Yeah. Make it make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Make it right.
Make it make sense.
Okay. He got the most prestige trophy. So anybody that get the most, that's just like saying you win the Heisman, but you know what? I'm gonna go play a whole nother sport. Professional sport at that.
Yeah. I'm unreal.
But I'm about to give you a third thing. Charlie Ward was even on the board for playing baseball.
Really?
He played 3 sports at Florida State.
Yeah.
Nobody even said it.
I didn't hear too much about the baseball. I definitely, football and basketball.
Right. But this is the thing, Kay. He even played tennis.
Wow.
Go look up. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to Google.
This is the reason why I say that. You and everybody saying, and this is the thing that people don't realize. And I'm not sitting here, and I don't want people to get it misconstrued what I'm about to say. Like, I'm gonna give you the prime example of LeBron. Everybody always talked about him playing football. And the word was if he would have played football,
right?
But he didn't,
right?
So what about the guys that did do it?
Yeah.
So LeBron, and that's why I say, don't get me wrong, because I'm in here saying LeBron, he's athletic as anything, but you got to give the guys that's athletes that did do it the respect that they should have.
Yes.
And that means that if he played football, he got the most prestigious sport. Then he changed up and played 12 years a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
That's one of the best athletes around.
Ever.
You see what I'm saying? How many basketball players can go out there and hit a baseball? But I know a lot of baseball players can go out here and shoot a basketball.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right. You see what I'm saying? I know a lot of them. So, hey, and you know what I mean? A lot of people don't like when I do, and that's why this is another reason why I never did it, because I know a lot of people will have different feelings on this. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna say. Yo, you're not gonna tell me that a person that can play a dual sport professionally or did it professionally is not a better athlete than a person that only just did one.
Right. Right.
That person that's one might be athletic as anything. But if he never did it, the only thing you can go on is the potential.
Mm-hmm.
Then give that man that played the two sports his respect. That's an athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
That did it.
No doubt.
That's I would leave. Huh?
I said no doubt.
And I'm gonna leave that right there. So, and our next conversation, because I know you like, yo, I could go on, because I ain't even gonna lie, okay, I love the fellowship that I had today, man. I definitely appreciate it that you put me on your cast, and I can just get out a couple of things that I needed to get out. It's been a minute since I did really have a good conversation, or just a good fellowship, because in today's boy, everybody opinion, they ready to take your head off for saying something, saying something that you feel like what you think you right in, if I feel like this is how I feel, all right, it's just accept it as it is, and just let's keep it moving. Like, life is still gonna go on. It's not gonna stop because I feel this type of way. So that's why I keep my opinions to myself. Okay.
Well, you always welcome to share them here with us. You know what I'm saying? You got an open mic here, brother.
I definitely appreciate that, but we definitely got to link up again, because there's a couple of things that I would love to have that conversation with you, and I definitely got to talk to Antoine about that. Had that conversation, and I think that was one of the pivotal points of our of that 96-97, no, not 97-98 team, or that 97 team at Coppin, because we really came together after that, and you could see what we did after that. Like, the bond came a lot stronger after that. You saw who, where we was at mentally.
Yep.
So
yeah, so let's make sure we stay in touch. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna pull that together. We're gonna get you back on here.
Definitely. Hey, anytime, man, you let me know. You just be like, all right, listen. Or anybody have any questions on something, and you like, hey, you know what? I like to hear your opinion about it. I'd definitely love to come on and just hear some other thoughts on certain topics.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have a couple of my guys on me, so we could have teamed up on them. I got a couple of Morgan State guys that come on the show with me too. Usually,
I would have loved to have that. I would have loved to hear, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that, like, when I got down there, it was, oh man, okay, that Coppin Morgan game,
lovely.
It didn't matter if they was the last place or we was last place. Mm-mm. That game was just, them games was just unbelievable, period.
Yep. Great time. Man. Great times, man.
Yes.
Great times.
Yes.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna let you go, get you some rest. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you gotta go to work tomorrow. I do.
Definitely. And I didn't know that it's 11. Yeah, I definitely, I gotta get my butt up. So yes.
So we definitely gonna run it back, man. We're gonna run it back and we're gonna do this again, man. I appreciate you giving me your time. And thanks for joining me. And we gonna get on it. We gonna pull this thing together. We're gonna do it again.
Definitely. I would definitely I'll be waiting for that, brother, for real.
All right, my man. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, man, and we'll get at it again.
All right, and next time I'm gonna get all this. I'm gonna get all this taken care of, so we can have a good conversation.
Oh man, it was good. We gonna get it together, but it was good. I appreciate
you. All right, brother.
All right, brother. Peace.
Later.
All right. Danny Singletary from Coppin State, man, joined me this evening. We had a hell of a conversation. Talked a little bit about how he got to Coppin. You know what I'm saying? So, and this what it's all about. You know, brother got an opportunity to tell his story in his way. You know, and it's March Madness, so it's a lot of, we try to bring up the basketball stuff. You know, we always rocking with me through the football season. Did a lot of Ravens talk, a lot of football talk. But basketball time now. The March Madness is starting. The tournament, I think it was a game tonight. It'll start tomorrow. It'll be in full swing by Thursday. The NBA, you know, winding the season down. Playoffs be starting in a month or so with the NBA. So we know that'll start cranking up. So, you know, we basketball central here at the Sports Mix, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Check us out, man. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, the Facebook group, the Sports Mix Podcast. Appreciate y'all support, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channels too, man. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Be out till next time. Peace.
Yeah. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. Sports Mix. Yeah. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, they got plenty. You in the Sports Mix with Kenny. News and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in. A lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man. You in the mix.